Hi guys, this is John. He's going to show us about one of the mold making processes they use here, and an alternative to traditional resin or metal casting.
Yes, it is. So this is. Have you heard about Cyocast? No, this is called Cyocast.
Is this Bendy resin?
This is Bendy resin.
Bendy resin.
Bendy
yeah, we know
resin.
about that.
So the goal of Bendy resin, which is what we're going to call it now, is to make models as detailed as traditional resin casting, but at the speed of metal casting, without the costs of traditional plastic injection.
Right.
Some of the differences you'll see, we have square molds.
Oh well, square molds. Look at that. It's progress.
So metal traditionally uses centrifugal casting, so you pour metal at the top and it forces out the side. We use vacuum injection, so we make a vacuum and then inject into that vacuum, so we can guide it wherever we want. So I happen to have a radial style mold here, or we can have multiple different miniature sprues, or we can do what the big advantage of the process, which is
you do parallel.
Cram as much stuff on it as possible and hopefully get them all off as well.
So for the viewers, the ball bearings, these are ways of the mold matching up.
Yes.
Because these are molded as a single piece from two halves.
They are, yeah.
But it's done as part of the manufacturing process.
Yes. So if we didn't have these sort of ball bearings to hold it still, the mold would slip and you'd get really horrible mold lines, and nobody wants horrible mold lines.
Yeah.
Some of the advantages of this material is the speed from design to manufacture is. I don't have it. I should have found it. We made a coin for the open day, which I believe you.
Oh, I've got one at home.
Perfect.
Show them. Yep.
So that was designed on a Thursday night, and Wednesday night. Went into production on Friday morning.
Right.
So it went from a 3D model to a physical production. Here's thousands of models within 2 days.
So the bit that you do at the bench here, then,
yeah.
the right thing is you've got tins of the. So these are like submasters or equivalent, aren't they?
They are, yeah. So,
and you're carefully pressing them into this butter dish here.
That's exactly it, yeah. It's very similar to any kind of two-part moulding. It's just we have flexibility with how we lay them out because it's vacuum, not centrally. If myself and Jamie were as skilled as a machine, we could recreate a plastic sprue mould in this system. We could. Doesn't mean we can, but we could, theoretically.
Right. The technology's there, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
At that point, you may as well have a machine do it. So, no, it's much the same. So we'll have raw silicon. We'll have our super shiny masters. These will get pressed in, and then it gets moulded, and that's it. I have one here, but I can actually open this up quickly if you want.
Is this one you've just made?
This is one that's been made for a while that I luckily just haven't opened yet. So. Oh, that's it. So this obviously needs some work to it. So we'll connect the channels where the resin gets injected to the model, and we'll cut like a channel around the outside for the vacuum to pull the air out. Right.
So you've got the shapes in, and you're happy with that, and then there's more work to do to make it a usable mold. Yeah.
So we'll spend about an hour pressing it. Then we'll spend about half an hour cutting channels and various things. The main difference between this and traditional metal casting is this is front end heavy. So the metal casters, there's a lot of nuance. I'm sure Pete showed you he was pouring heavy or pouring light or adjusting spin. This, ideally, all the casters have to do at our end is press a green button, because we have to program the machines on how to inject this, which Jamie will show you when you go over.
And that's unique to each mold, isn't it?
Completely unique to each mold, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get lucky and we'll have multiple molds that can run on the same recipe. Not very lucky though.
We're just not in the lucky game.
No, we're not.
All right. Well, mate, that's really interesting to see. So maybe we can have a look at the machine at work.
Yes, certainly.
Unlike metal, we use talc instead of corn flour. It does the same job, but corn flour just
Gunks up your machine.
Yeah, does a bit. So we just cover the.
Is that a pair of socks?
Yes.
Hey, I've loved that as we've gone round. You know, that so much of it is like the technology takes us so far, but eventually it's just guys having to work out how it works. There's a lot of trial and error and so on. And a pair of socks covered in talc, mate, as a legit business tool.
That's all you need.
Yeah, so you got 2 halves of the mold?
Yeah, 2 halves of the mold. You cover it in talc and then you just clap them together to get a nice even spread and get rid of any...
Does it matter there's one already in there?
Yes. So you remove the old mold, leave that in the run. So you locate it on the bottom plate and then you find the code on the screen.
And you've worked this out by trial. There's an individual recipe for like pressure, etc.
Yeah. So we've got a lot of different things we can change on it. I'll bring them up in a second. So we can change the injection time, compaction time, which is just kind of pulsing the material, which is good for details. How long it takes for the models to cool and become solid, the plate pressure, all kinds of things. And then you just load it up and then hit the green button.
Oh, the machine! It does the thing!
It does. Sometimes takes just a second to get to the vacuum. That's it injecting.
I love the fact there's all the other guys from the department watching something that they do all day, every day.
More interesting on camera.
Yeah.
So this model takes about just over a minute for the full cast, which includes some cooling time. So when the mold comes out of the machine, it'll all be solid and you're not really likely to risk molten resin on your hands.
Yeah.
Which really isn't something anybody wants. So yeah, we're just halfway through the cooling time now. We've got these handy little bars at the bottom to keep you up to date with where it's at.
Is it like the loading screen of 99% and then it just stops?
No, it's generally quite accurate. So you've got the injection time, compaction time, and then cooling time.
Nice.
Yeah, nearly there now, and then you'll just hear it open up.
It has released.
And then,
And that's cool to the touch, isn't it?
out it comes.
Look at that, mate! 1 minute and done.
And then the demolding process, you just kind of bend it. Don't want to glove on for this bit.
And that's already cured, that's already dry, good to go.
Yep.
Nice. It's quite the process.
It is. Takes no time at all to make some lovely miniatures.
And so this, you say, it's a combination of speed and cost for things that you expect to have in relatively low volumes.
Yeah. And we can get them produced in a matter of days from a 3D model. So really it's the best of, well, more than both worlds.
It allows you to be very flexible as a business on new products.
Yeah. And then here we've got 16 perfect casts.
Very nice. Thank you very much. Love this machine. I need one. So if you like bolt action and you're looking to start the system or start a new army, on our website modelingforadvantage.co.uk we have a range of the starter sets as well as a few of the starter armies. Do consider buying from us as a way of supporting the channel. Thank you for watching.